Is this the perfect smart deadbolt? Let's have a closer look. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at smart deadbolts. I'm looking at this. This is the Igloohome Deadbolt02, and it's pretty darn interesting. Now, Igloohome's taken a different path to the more traditional lock companies. So like if you have a Yale or a Kwikset or a Schlage, they're part of a smart home. So they need Wi-Fi. You need to have a pretty complicated installation. This, by contrast, is a standalone lock. You can give people pins, you can give people Bluetooth as a key. I'll show you that in just a second. But primarily it's intended to help you understand who and when people can unlock the door and get into your house. So it doesn't even offer remote lock, but you know what? You don't need remote lock for the vast majority of the time. So let me show you. So it is in the locked position, and now with the app, it comes with an Igloohome app, and with the app I'm going to use it as a Bluetooth key. So as you can see, I just go into the app and it recognizes my face, and this is the door to my garage, and so I'm just going to tap the button, and with any luck, now the door's unlocked. That's really great because this means that I can, for example, send my friends a Bluetooth key, as it were. It's something you install in their app, and then they can unlock my door. But I can do it just once, and I can do it just for today, or I can just do it for like the next 30 days and then it's gone. Now, the obvious application for that is something like Airbnb or vacation rent by owner, VRBO, and that totally makes sense to me because I'm actually about to rent a house up in Montana, and they have a little lockbox on their door with a little punch code that you then open up, and then there's a key. That is not a great solution for two reasons. One, I'm guessing their PIN code, they rarely if ever change. And two, once I have the key in my hand, I can go to the hardware store and make a copy, and then odds are I could go back in 6 months and unlock the door and walk in their house. So something like this is so much more sophisticated and so much smarter. And in fact, the Igloohome integrates tightly with Airbnb, so you can actually have it set up to do sync and notification automatically based on the calendar of when you have someone coming to your home. So, works great. Now, let's see what else I can show you is that, you can unlock via Bluetooth, but you can also assign pins, and those pins also can work with duration or one time. It can be a permanent pin. So all of those different configurations. So my kids, they get a pin, and then if I have a house cleaner coming, I can give him or her the pin, and that works one day between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And that's it. If they get there 6 hours late, they're not walking in my door at 2 in the morning. Well, 6 hours late from 9 a.m. is not 2 a.m. But you understand what I'm saying, is that you don't want to just give everyone the keys to your home. That is not a great strategy. And further, you definitely don't want to just hide a door key under a flower pot. Oh my gosh, this is the 21st century. You need better solutions than that. So let me just let's go around to the other side of the door, and I'll show you the whole pin system because it's pretty slick. So I'm outside in the garage, and this is the door between the garage and my house. If I leave my garage door open, I want to still have some sort of access control. So the Igloohome Deadbolt02 is just what we need. Now, you've already seen that it works as a Bluetooth deadbolt. Let's go ahead and use the handy app, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new key, but we're going to do just a one-time. So let's do this as services. And I'm going to do a one-time pin, and it's going to be just for demo. And I'll create the pin, and this gets super interesting because the pin is actually an algorithm. So you take an original pairing when you first set the lock up, and your phone picks a pin, and the lock will know what it means and that it's a valid pin even though they don't communicate. It's sort of like how with a banking system you have a physical hardware key to validate your identity. So that's pretty cool. So now let's see, here's the demo key. So let's enter that. I'm going to touch the panel, and then we're going to do 97135402 pound. And what it's done is it's unlocked it so I can get into the house. That's pretty cool. And now what's happened on my phone is that's no longer going to work. So that's pretty cool. Now, let me just go ahead and turn off the recording. Good. Now, as I said, you can do one-time pins, you can do pins for a specific duration, you can do a permanent pin like you would do for your kids, or you can use the Bluetooth key. And again, Bluetooth key is super easy to work with because all you have to do is be near the lock and then push the button and it's unlocked. How easy is that? And you could actually do it as you're walking up because, of course, Bluetooth has like a 20-foot, 30-foot range. Now, there's some other neat features too because you have timed relock, there's a tamper alarm, there's a decoy security code. This is one I really like because you watch like James Bond and they like brush something on the lock and you see what numbers people push in. But it turns out this will let you put in random numbers before and after so that it sees that you've entered the valid 8-digit key, but it lets you touch other buttons too. So you could really do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, your actual code, £0, and it'll work. And so then if someone looks at the keypad after a long period of time, they're not going to see that, oh, only 1 and 5 and 7 are used. Now, I will say you can't specify your own pin, and that's something I find a little frustrating because I'd like to give a memorable pin to my kids, and I can't do that because that's not how this system works. So you do have to have this fairly clumsy 8-digit code, but you know what? You put it on your phone, you memorize it, or if you're a service person, someone texts it to you, and then they just look at it and they punch it in, and it's just like a pin on an ATM. It's pretty easy to work with. Now, all the Airbnb stuff, as I said, super slick. It's really, really great. And this house that I'm renting up in Montana, I wish they had one of these. It'd be so much more safe and secure for them. And frankly, for me as someone renting, because then I know the people before me or before them don't have a copy of the physical key and don't have access to the lockbox to be able to get the key. They would have had a pin that would have timed out, and that would be much more convenient. So one other thing I'll say is that Igloohome is super close to releasing what they call their Deadbolt 2S, which is going to be like this, but slimmer. And one of the things on this that I haven't shown you is that there's a key override. So if you're in dire straits, you can also have a key on your keychain or maybe stashed somewhere. Again, not great security, but then you can pop this off. On the Deadbolt 2S, this is going to be integrated into the flat surface and not stick out like that. That's going to be nice. The other thing to notice is that on the bottom there are two little prongs sticking out, and that's true of any electronic deadbolt, is that that's the emergency override. If the batteries inside are just completely dead, then you can hold a 9-volt battery to that, punch in your pin, and it'll unlock. So that's an important fail-safe because it works off of 4 AA's, but you know, they could die. Or someone could pop the batteries, I suppose, from the inside, which really is not the optimal way to do it. But you could have that happen, and so they have planned for that too. So really, really like it. And I will say the installation was pretty straightforward. Here's a couple of pictures of me doing the install. It's pretty much a standard deadbolt. The only thing I will say is that I did get a little confused about what position to leave the actual deadbolt in versus what position to have the base unit that you fit on. So I had to put it together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart a couple of times. Maybe if I read the instructions a bit more or watched one of their videos, I wouldn't have had to do that. But even with that, total install was under an hour. And if you really know what you're doing, or hire a locksmith, it's super easy, then it's probably 15-20 minutes. Easily done, and a very nice upgrade, particularly for a house or, you know, like a side door where you really want to have that access control, and it's just going to work great. Now, before I tell you the price, the only thing left to talk about is I'd like to ask if you can click on that subscribe button. Really appreciate when you can subscribe to my channel. And if you're finding this video useful and interesting, give me a thumbs up, because that's a great thing too here on YouTube. Okay, so this is the Igloohome Deadbolt 2 Smart Deadbolt, and it will cost you $199 at igloohome.me/Igloobolt02. I know, not the most smooth of URLs, but you can do it. You can type it in, or you can find it in the description of this video. This is Dave Taylor. I'm getting back to assigning custom pins to people, and I will catch you in my next video.